Alright, well before I proceed with the next compressor test, I figured I'd better build a control panel. About damn time I did. Basically it's just going to be purely for running compressors, no other motors or anything. It's going to have the start, run and common outputs. I'm going to build a little box in here which will house the run and start capacitors, which will be interchangeable. Obviously got a master power switch, which would have to be in the off position and everything unplugged before changing or touching capacitors. Obviously I'll have a discharge lead and other safety equipment. Yeah, somewhat dangerous but still very useful. You have line amps. Small meter is lower amps, which is wired in series with the power supply. The bigger meter is just to show just spike current when it's shorting out. If I'm doing a motor burnout, I find this one here maxed out last time I did it, whereas this 100 amp meter should show a bit more current draw. Line voltage is just in case things get really hairy and it starts losing voltage. Yeah, obviously this one here is a CT type meter. This one's wired in series. Volts are just wired off normally. Main supply to the voltmeter. There's no other transformer or anything to it. And we'll see how we go. I may well add a hard start kit as well. I've got an old kickstart kit. Okay, well that's the hard start kit that I want to try and integrate into it. The run capacitor is not from the hard start kit. That's just from an old window Toshiba unit. 35 microfarad 400 volt. Got the kickstart potential relay and the 270 to 324 microfarad start cap is all from the kickstart kit. Came out of a dead condensing unit, some Chinese thing. They must have put it in because it was having trouble running. Obviously it didn't last as long as they were hoping it would, but I've got a nice little working hard start kit there. So I'll just incorporate that as a last ditch resort for starting really stubborn compressors. Just make a manual jumper override to go to the terminal block and away we go. So stay tuned for more on this. I'll just get a bit of wiring done tonight, and then next time you see it I'll be trying to run a compressor with it. Test time. This poor old thing sitting here. See what it does. Ooh, it doesn't sound healthy. 30. Yeah. Funny how the volts drop when the amps go up. And that's running off a 15 amp breaker. If I held it there much longer she would have tripped. But I'm not trying to run it with a capacitor or anything. That's just 240 volts across two of the three legs. It's pretty accurate though compared with the two. About 30 amps. That one there is going through the main line. The other one's using a current transformer. Beautiful. Time to do some torture tests tomorrow. Well, to continue with compressor autopsy, today I found another one of these triples, and this is the Danfoss Performer. Obviously you got your eccentric rotor in there, cycloid converter, moving scroll and fixed. And that's a discharge valve in there. It's all full of dirt.